All pawns on one side of the board. An octopus garden. Black to move. Though a pawn ahead with tremendous king position, black can't win. The problem is his bishop. Its long-range powers are useless because all the pawns are on one side of the board. To make matters worse, white has placed his king and pawns on dark squares. This means that black's bishop can't ever attack them. To draw, all white has to do is move his bishop randomly around the board until black finally bows to the inevitable. Black to move. This is the same position as the previous diagram, except white's bishop is better placed and black has a knight instead of a bishop. Now it's a win because the knight can reach any square. Since nothing is safe from it, in effect, the knight leaves the highly desired turbo horse image behind and reaches octopus levels of influence. I chose the following variations to illustrate different octopus domination scenarios. I wasn't looking for the quickest or most accurate routes, but rather the most visually instructive. Now sit back, relax, and look on in amazement at the clinic the octopus puts on. Heading for d6 or f6, followed by knight to e4, winning the f4 pawn. h5, wisely trying to exchange as many pawns as possible. If bishop g8, the octopus would show its defensive powers with 2 knight f6. A notation change via OF6 crossed my mind for octopus f6. Hitting the bishop, defending the h7 pawn, and threatening to win the f4 pawn by both knight e4 check and knight h5 check. So h5 is played. Bishop e6. Instead of bishop b3, access denied. Black's octopus and h-pawn has formed an invisible shield that deprives the white king entry. King h3. Leaping into the battle. Alternatively, no better is bishop g4, and the pawn promotes. So instead of bishop g4, king h3, and bishop c4. If king g2, is game over since the threats of knight d2 and knight h2 can't be satisfactorily answered. So bishop c4 instead of king g2. There's a force field again. King h3. If instead, bishop a6, followed by f1 equals queen. The octopus defends 1 second, attacks the next. The hungry octopus smothers its prey on f1. Next, the bishop either has to capture the knight or the king moves and the bishop is captured. So instead of bishop b3, bishop e6. It defends. Then attacks. If king takes h5, then knight f6 check, and the octopus triumphs again. If king takes h5, knight f6 check is yet another fork. Or instead of bishop h3, bishop takes f3. If king h5, then knight f6 check. And the pawn promotes. So instead, bishop takes f3, bishop h3 is played. And king g4. Instead, also possible is bishop f1. And bishop h6. If king h5, then knight g3 check, wins the bishop. Bishop b7 check. If king g5, this is winning. And you can't take the knight because of the promotion. If king takes h5, then the fork. King takes h4. The pawn eventually has to be taken, which gives black time to get his king to e1. If king g4, h3, and king d2 and king g3, instead of king g3, bishop c4, are both game enders. So king g3 and bishop c4 both lose. So after king takes h4, king d2, 0-1. It's interesting to see how the octopus consistently blocks the bishop's diagonals. We just looked at bishop f1 in this position, but the main move is king to g4. Zero one. Once again, the octopus saves the day by blocking a check to its king. The final position is oddly picturesque.